The community has a major role to play in the achievement of quality education. It is the responsibility of the community, first of all, to report cases of children remaining at home. When you see a parent is keeping a child at home, it is the work of the neighbors to report the issue and be able to take necessary measures. Because we say traditionally that a child is for the community. And if we mean that and we care about the child's welfare, then everyone is supposed to ensure that this basic right of a child is enforced to the fullest. So we find cases of even the boys who leave school and go start border borders. I wonder why the community keep quiet about that. They're supposed to question why the boy is not at school before before he stops before he completes the school. So I think it's a challenge to the community that they have a full responsibility to ensure that every child goes to school and every child gets quality education. And in scenarios where we have schools which do not adhere to maybe education protocols or measures that are supposed to be taken by the school, then it's the role of the community to act, to respond, and to reinforce the law. And when we do that, it means that we care about the future of our children. Because when we care about individuals' future, then we are creating the future for that community. So I think, as you asked, if you ask me, the community takes a big role in ensuring that quality education is achieved.
We are aware that last year you joined other youth organizations to lead a campaign dubbed, and there was a hashtag for that, justice for every child. And it's really had a strong presence last year. And I think the aim of that was to increase your reach to the public. Can you tell us about that particular campaign and so far what has come out of it?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So Justice for Every Child campaign it's a global campaign, and it was initiated by the 100 million organization. So it is a campaign that was running throughout the world. And as Kenya, we decided to take it, to narrow it down to issues affecting young people. So as much as the hashtag is Justice for Every Child, we were targeting issues affecting the young people. And the main aim of the campaign was to amplify the voices of young people on issues affecting them, especially during the pandemic. So you saw the COVID-19 came and it took a toll on various sectors, and you saw young people were taken aback and they were highly affected by issues. For example, in the campaign, we addressed 4 major issues. First one was accountability of the COVID-19 funds. Okay. And you know about the cancer scandal that came out.
Yes.
You can imagine, yeah, there are major bodies, the World Bank, the IMF, all those big bodies, they were donating money to the Kenyan economy. And then at the end of the day, you find we cannot account for the money that were given for COVID-19 response. Yet, young people, they closed their businesses. They could not go to school because of the pandemic. So the lives of young people were affected, and we could not, again, on the duty bearers part, they could not be able to account for the monies that were trickled into the Kenyan economy. So that is one of the issues that we advocated for. The other one was gender-based violence. And when you look at the statistics, you could see the rising cases of GBV, because we had the quarantine period where most people were indoor, and that is the time when you could see the cases of violence increasing every day, because you could imagine being closed indoors with the perpetrators. So it was one of the issues, and when that happens, the children and young people are victims. They feel they feel the aftermath of the violence.
Correct.
So we advocated for that. And the third one was education. Education, in Kenya alone, we had 9 months holiday. It has never happened before. And during that 9 months, we have children who are so used to being in school. They were so used to an environment with their friends at school. But now they're at home. Some parents are violent. Some parents, they're frustrated because they've closed down businesses. They have to face issues of poverty. So there are a lot of things that affected, because they were not able to be in school at that time. The young people were highly affected, and we had rising cases of mental health issues. So, and at that time, towards the end of last year, we started embracing digital learning. In campuses, we used to have online learning, but our concern as young people is everyone able to access the online learning? If we had schools, some private schools, which were still doing tuitioning for their kids through online learning, what about young people who cannot afford internet? What about areas with poor networks? As much as they may have the internet, but they don't have the network. So it was just widening the gap between the poor and the rich. And when they were to go back to school at the same time, those who were already ahead with the digital learning, they were much ahead than the other ones. Yet we are talking about quality education. We cannot have quality education when there's inequality in the education. So that was the third issue that we advocated for. Then the last one was police brutality. When they were enforcing the law of curfew, this was everywhere, even in the newspaper headlines. You could see a number of young people that were being brutally hit by the police because of the curfew. We had young people who died in the process. We had stray bullets that killed our young people. And if we did not speak about it, then it was we were going to lose lives. And because of the campaign, we wanted to be the voice of young people to advocate for the issues. So what we did, we formed a consortium of youth organizations across the country. There were several youth organizations that put their efforts together. And we started with online advocacy that went for 1 month. And during the online advocacy, we could have Facebook Live, we could have Twitter chat. We were engaging different people. People are giving, telling their stories, how they're affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We were recording stories of young people being brutalized by the police, because we had to keep the society aware of what we are speaking about, and we have to increase the scope of advocacy so that it reach the public. And towards the end of the online campaign, we involved some of the duty bearers, some of our leaders. We engaged with them through webinars, and they were able to tell us on the part of duty bearers, what are they doing to address the issues that we identified. So at the end of all that, we're able to write a letter to the, before the letter, we had a media engagement where we spoke to the media so that the public may know about these issues, and it may reach to the leaders. And we finished with a letter to the president where we articulated these issues. And after having engaged with the public and the youth organizations, we outlined the recommendations of each issue that we were addressing. So we took the letter to the office of the president and it was well received. And what is following now is follow-up of a commitment that they made as duty bearers. And we're ensuring that the letter that we wrote, the president and the relevant offices, because some of them could be addressed through relevant bodies. So we're still following up with them. And I can say that I'm glad that the campaign reached the public well, and it amplified and it brought to life what really underlies the young people's challenges in this country. So that is basically what the campaign was all about.
Are you seeing any light at the end of the tunnel? Are you seeing any major progress being done, being made on the action points that you expected on those 4 issues? And can you cite one that is actually, you can say, yes, because of that letter, because of our advocacy, this is what is happening, and especially in the line of education?
So the first step of just calling the duty bearers to book is a major step, because we have had many campaigns and a lot of outcries in the social media before. We've had the young people crying full of a number of issues, but they never reach to the right people. So for us, reaching the right and the relevant offices is a step, because it will be different if we were just making noise online and then not reaching to the right people. So for us, the letter reaching the office of the president is a big step for us. And we've had consultations with, for example, the police, the Department of the Police. When we talk about police brutality, we've seen pressure mounted on them during the pandemic. And if you compare the curfew, later on the curfew were lifted, and it was less tighter than before. So I can say the cases of police brutality reduced significantly. But again, we cannot expect a change to happen in just the few months that we've been able to take the letter to the office. So it is a process. Yeah, the same way you cannot just demand something as a group and tomorrow you wake up to actions being taken. So as I said, we're still doing follow-up, but we trust that because the recommendations are in the right hands, then we are going to expect that something is going to be done. We are doing follow-ups, and the action may not, the change we want may not happen overnight, but we believe that whatever time it will take, it will be worth it. Now, as an organization, our vision is a country where young people are empowered, they are pioneering change in the community, and they're being involved in the decision-making tables. That is our decision. That is our vision, I mean. So in the next 5 years, I see a country where many young women, because our program on leadership and governance focuses on young women in politics.
Oh.
I envision that even in the next election, we shall record an increased number of young women going for political spaces, because that is where the core decision making is done in this country. Number 2, I envision through the sheRise clubs, we shall be able to account, this is the number of girls that we've finished school with, this is the number of scholarship, we'll be able to account, we'll be able to record scholarships that we have provided, we'll be able to identify, to mention the number of education resources we provided to the girls that we have in the club. And we also believe that we shall have clubs in various counties. And maybe someday, God willing, in the coming years, we shall have sheRise adopted in clubs, sheRise clubs adopted in many counties in this country. So, and When we talk about pioneering change, we have amazing pool of young men and women who are already doing that. They are pioneering change. When they do the mentorships in the grassroots, that is change they're bringing. They did not just, they did it out of their heart, and that is what they want to see.
Unmute, sorry. Oops, sorry. Okay. I think you
Someone was calling.
All right.
So can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We have only 5 minutes, so it's okay.
So yeah, just last week we had an economic empowerment expo in Siaya County, and we had several youth and women groups coming at the expo to learn and expose their agribusiness products to the world. So in line to economic empowerment, we envision and young people embracing agribusiness, embracing digital marketing, and taking agribusiness to the global level, because I believe it's possible through partnerships and through hard work. Yeah, for membership, we advise we have between 18 to 35. That is the age of youth.
Thank you so much for the time that you put in, for the patience, and for everything. I think the work that you're doing is brilliant, and I think more and more people should emulate. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you and working with you again as the Shauri Youth Empowerment Program, especially because we have those areas that you're working in common in terms of education and even leadership and health. So thank you so much, and do have a brilliant afternoon.